So I got my real estate license in less than 30 days here in Georgia, and today I'm going to show you how. I'm going to drop some secrets on studying tips to pass your real estate exam the first time, how to find a cheat sheet to your licensing exam, and how to become a real estate agent the moment you pass your exam. And stick to the very end to see some tips on passing your real estate exam and finding the right brokerage to make 5 to 6 figures a year. Here's a disclaimer for you. It may take longer or shorter depending on your state's credit hours. For a reference, here in Georgia, it is 75 credit hours, so it took me 1 month. But in Texas, it's about 175 or 160, I believe. So it could take you 2 months, 3 months, or less, just depending on how much you hammer down and how much you get done. That being said, let's go on to the first step, which is to find an online real estate school. The fastest way for you to get your license is to find an online school instead of an in-school program. It's so much cheaper. I think it's almost 5 times cheaper, and you get to go on your own pace, which means you can hammer down as much as you want and you can accelerate as much as you want without anyone holding you down. Some great online schools are Aceable Agent and Real Estate Express, but if you're asking for my recommendation, I recommend Aceable Agent. Now, I used Aceable Agent to get my licensing in less than 30 days, and I loved Aceable Agent so much that I hit them up, and now I'm a partner with them. That's how great they are. And I'm not going to go into full details on Aceable Agent, but check the link down in the description box below, or the iCard probably like up here somewhere, where I can go in depth on them and also the pros and cons of Aceable Agent. There is a 20% discount code in the description box below that will be applied at checkout, and you'll also be supporting my channel, so check it out. Now, step 2, once you find a good online school, it's time to find your real estate candidate handbook. Now, this is a little secret that not a lot of people know about. It's free, but a lot of people just don't know about it. It's an in-depth outline of all the requirements there are to your exam. It outlines all the topics and how many questions of each topic there are in the exam, so you can prioritize some topics over the others, and they even have sample questions. So you can search in Google. All you have to do is search up your state. For me, it would be Georgia Candidate Handbook PDF. The first or the second link should be the one to the PDF. Once you click it, that's gold right there, and you can thank me later. The third step, once you have your candidate handbook and you have an online school, is to buy the specific practice book. And this book is by Stephen Metling, if I'm saying his last name correct. It has a blue cover. I'll have an example probably like right here or here, and also put it in the description box below. I use this to pass my real estate licensing exam, and it was great. Now, it has key vocabulary, and it has the vocabulary and context of the questions that you'll be having to answer. But the biggest reason why I tell you guys to buy this book is because it has sample questions and also practice tests that are exactly formatted like the exam. Like, I don't know how that practice test was formatted just like the exam, but it is, and it's just magical. And I highly recommend you guys get this book because the wording of the practice test was so similar to the one when I went into the practice exam and I took my exam. Like, I was literally like,
wait, I did this one on the practice test.
like, it was that similar, and it was just so great. I had the confidence to know the question because I studied that one before, and this was a way that I studied for my test and my final exams. Now, step number 4, once you have all the prep stuff that you need to do, it's now time to look for a brokerage. You can do this without having your license. Some people think that once you get your license, then you have to go find your broker. You can do that, but you'll spend so much time doing that. Do it beforehand. That way, when you get into your licensing and you pass, you can sign with your brokerage immediately. So you can line yourself up by becoming a real estate agent the moment you pass your exam. When you look for your brokerage, do not worry about commission slips. Do not get caught on this. The first thing they'll mention is your commission splits. Don't worry about those stuff. Focus on the training and mentorship because that's where the key money is for you and the gold is for you. And that was my mistake. When I went to go look for brokerages, I decided,
You know, I'm not a person that likes the big corporate world. I like to stay in a small community.
so I went to a small brokerage and it was just a hard time. They promised me this, and at the end of the day, my broker didn't help me out at all because 1, she was too focused on herself and her business, that she couldn't allocate sometimes for me. I highly suggest you guys find a large brokerage like Keller Williams. Compass is really great if you guys can get into a Compass brokerage. Once again, I highly recommend you guys get into a large brokerage first. Once you guys get the training you need, then go ahead and find a small brokerage if you like to move out, or you can find your own team in that large brokerage. But if you guys want an in-depth video about finding a brokerage and finding the one that's great for you, let me know in the comment section below and maybe I'll make a video on that. Now the fifth step, once you find your brokerage, once you've got everything lined up, you have your licensing and you're pretty much all there, is to take your licensing exam and do all the paperwork on the spot. A lot of people will go and pass the exam and then they'll go find their brokerage and then they'll have to come back the next day, and it's just a hassle. You'll have to make 2 trips to become a real estate agent. Don't do this. Once you have a sponsoring brokerage that you want to work for, they have a form that they'll sign. Take that with you on the exam. First, pass your exam, of course, pay the fees. Of course, you have to pay the fees. And then after that, turn in your sponsoring brokerage form so that the day you pass your exam and pay your fees, you'll become a real estate agent that day forward and you can start working to make money. So those are your 5 steps to becoming a real estate agent in less than 30 days. Here's some tips that I can give you guys while you're going through the process. Tip number 1, while studying for your real estate exam, don't focus too much on the vocab. Focus on the vocab in context to the question. That's the most important thing, because just knowing vocab won't get you a passing grade on your real estate licensing exam, because they use the vocab in context to real life scenarios. So you have to understand the context of where that vocabulary is coming from. Tip number 2 is when you are looking for brokerages, you'll have a better chance of succeeding as a real estate agent if you work with a team. Now, this is where you work underneath a successful agent and you understand your role in that team and you follow through with your mentor or your successful agent. And most people don't do this. They think that,
hey, I'm just gonna make a lot of money individually and I'm gonna call it a day.
at the end of the day, 1 year, 2 years down the road, it just doesn't work out. So find a good brokerage that has a good team and go in with that team. Tip number 3 is going to be find a brokerage that has a good online presence and has a good lead foundation. This is important because these days, a lot of clients are going to be from Zillow or Realtor. Nowadays, they can just, hey, if they find a home that they like, they can reach out, put their emails, and then from there, they go ahead and go look at homes. Nowadays, it's a little hard to get a little bit of clients if you're not on the online presence. And so finding that good lead foundations for your brokerage is going to be the key money to becoming successful. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't know, but if you put your information into realtor.com or Zillow saying, hey, I'm interested in this home, there are brokerages that get that lead and that lead goes to the real estate agents and the agents follow up with that client or the customer. All right, tip number 4, which is going to be the last tip, is to look for administrative support. A lot of people just overlook this and don't even know that there is administrative support, but these support teams are there to handle your chores so you can focus on making more money with your client. Until you guys become a real estate agent, you guys won't understand that listing your MLL listing for a buying or selling, the paperwork, the emails, it really drains you. And pretty much some people focus on that throughout the day and they can't find new clients. So it's really important that you find a brokerage that has administrative support so they do all that for you. You can send them an email or a chat in your Slack or something, whatever your brokerage does, and say, hey, support, can you list my MLS listing? I'll give you all the information, and you just send it to them and they'll list it. Not only that, if you have paperwork that needs to be sent to a closing attorney and you're out with a client and you can't do that, you just not on your laptop or you have a computer in front of you, just send them a text. Here's the paperwork I need you to send. Can you process that and send it to the closing attorney? They'll do that, and they'll even email your future previous clients to see if you can follow up and do so much more where you can focus on finding new clients and making your business better. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys thought this video was helpful and informative. If you did, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe for a lot of great content. If you guys have any questions, put it in the description box below. I'll try and answer as many as I can. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.